we're gonna pick up right where we left off. So the second half of 190, anti-Dongzhuo coalition. I might do rival warlords 194, and then who knows what else I'll do afterwards. But after that, I might just go straight into like my favorite factions in the game and just do reworks for them. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, this is the second half, so we're gonna start with Liu Yan. So Liu Yan, right? He has veracity, and that's it. Oh, and he also has tricks. Tricks is already on there, right? So we took off veracity. We added strong defense. This tricks makes a lot of sense for him. It didn't make sense at first, but then I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. This is the guy who basically left the Imperial Court. He asked to be relocated in the Shu lands because he saw that there was trouble brewing. So he's like, you know what? I better get out of here, go get somewhere safe where I can build up my own power base. That's what he did. He asked for it to get reposted in Shu. So the tricks thing kind of makes sense with him. Veracity does not, okay? Veracity is absolutely terrible. Veracity, when you are a ruler, the loyalty of subordinate officers will not decrease if you dissolve an alliance. Your officers don't take a loyalty hit if you dissolve an alliance. Now, I played Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening, right? And in that game, Mazayuki has a trait that is the same, almost the same thing. I think it extends to diplomacy in that game. So in that game, you don't take a diplomacy hit as well as a loyalty hit. And that's got a far bigger map in that game. So when you're playing in Nobunaga's Ambition, if you haven't played it, it's a much bigger map with a lot more factions, a lot more potential to be wheeling and dealing, making alliances, okay? So in that game, that effect protects you from two things. It's totally useless. It's useless. It's never used. I've never used it, okay? I've never seen anybody use it. Take advantage of that effect, breaking an alliance. So, and that, again, that's a much bigger game with a lot more alliances going on. This is a much smaller map, and it's just loyalty. It doesn't even affect relationship hits with other forces because you broke an alliance, right? In Nobunaga's Ambition, I think you take a relationship hit as well. So, how much worse is it in this game? Think about that, okay? It's totally useless. Veracity's don't have any ruler have this, man. Save the space. Use something cool. Put something cool there. So, we put strong defense. Again, he goes to Shu. He builds up his defenses in Shu that Liu Zhang takes over with later on. What else did I give him here? Oh, he's also set up already to kind of cause more confusion through intercept. So he has that. So to pair with that, I went ahead and gave him treachery, so his intelligence goes up when he's activating tactics. So he has a higher chance of hitting you with intercept. The other stuff as well, but intercept, maybe you can confuse the enemy, and then tricks lets you confuse them again. So, again, with these guys, you just want a couple of strong foundations, and then you want the other officers to come in and help you fill out the build, the kit, right? So, we gave him that, and we also gave him Browse level 1. Again, the guy went to Shu to start his own force, literally to build up his own force. So, I think Rouse makes sense there. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I like tricks a lot as a trait. I like the percentage. I think it's like 10 to 20%. So it's a very strong trait. Anyway, that's Liu Yan. Let's get to the next guy. Okay, next person on this list, Liu Yu. This is a guy who gets kind of the short end of the stick in almost every game. He's always interesting, but he gets the short end of the stick, right? So he has, I think he has just magnetic, is what I have here. We took off magnetic because, again, it's so middling, We gave him instead Royal Assistant and Formation. Okay, these two traits, very, very cool traits. So, Royal Assistant increases the soldier income in the city that this officer is the governor or tactician of. So, if you take him out, you make him your tactician, you can still get that trigger. Formation decreases the amount of damage that your troops take. Decreases damage as a result of troop type tactics, I should say. So there's two ways to prevent damage, but we gave him formation. This ties into his role in the novel. So He was appointed up there in Jeet's territory to try to put down the deal with the Wuhuan tribes and everything that's going on up there. But Liu Yu always has very high charisma. He's almost like a budget Liu Bei. Okay, he has the same amount of charisma, and the people love him. The people in the region loved him. A lot of people were sad when Gongsun Zan killed him. But he doesn't really have anything going for him in the game. So in this game, we were able to give him Royal Assistant because this was a guy who turned down. I think he was approached because he could have taken a bid to become the Emperor. Okay, during his time, he didn't do it. Unlike Liu Bei, who was like, no, I don't want to be, I don't want to be. Oh, and then he becomes king, and then he becomes, unlike Liu Bei, Liu Yu just flat out refused to make an imperial play, right? So, Royal Assistant makes a lot of sense. He gets extra troops, the people flock to him. Formation is a nod to the other half of the story. Okay, he's famous for losing against Gongsun Zan because he was very focused on minimizing casualties. He wanted to spare as many troops as possible in battle. When Gongsun Zan, I think somebody betrayed him. And when Gongsun Zan was tipped off that he had arranged his battle plan to try to maximize casualties prevented, Gongsun Zan took advantage, played an overly aggressive front, and was able to wipe him out. But this guy was very focused on sparing as many lives as possible. So formation is the closest thing we can get in this game that does that. In Romance 14, he has the merciful trait. And in this game, formation's the closest thing. So again, makes perfect thematic hit, I think, and it powers him up. This pairing right here makes him kind of formidable. In terms of everything else, we gave him, I think, let me see. What do I have for this guy? Resolute, +1 resolute, +2 to dignity, and +1 to rouse. I don't know why I haven't added that. So we gave him rouse 1, 1 to resolute, and +2 to dignity so he can increase his troops. Dignity is a nice way of getting the magnetic effect. Like if you don't want to deal with, the magnetic trait, instead of that, just give the guy dignity. It's the same thing. Increases the number of troops. Magnetic increases the number of troops that you can carry. So if you really want to keep that or hold on to that theme, just give it to him. You could give him cure as well. But I think it's good as it is. We don't want to make these guys too strong. We want to leave it, again, you want to leave room for other officers to come in and support the guy, lift them up, higher. So, okay, next one here is Ma Teng. I didn't change anything. His stats are the same, tactics are the same, skills are the same. The only thing I changed was we took off magnetic and we gave him straightforward, because of, what happens in a novel, him answering the fake imperial summons that Cao Cao had drafted for him, and he went to the court anyway, thinking that he was going to be able to assassinate Cao Cao finally, and Cao Cao in turn assassinated him. He fell for the trap. He got baited. So straightforward for Ma Teng. That's the only change for him, and I think it's a good one. I think it's more flavor than magnetic. Magnetic is just so blah. If you really want him to keep magnetic, again, just put some points in dignity. Okay, next one on the list, Shi Xie. With him, I kind of went with leaning into the fact that he was just a really stable governor down there. While everything was going on everywhere else on the map, this guy was just stability. The picture of stability in the Southlands. The people loved him. He was just, the only thing he did to check in with the court, or with the Soons, I should say, is just offer up tribute. This guy just focused on stability and governing, so that's what I leaned into with him. So I think his original trait was guidance. Instead of guidance, we gave him great virtue. So he has a good chance of meeting people, recruiting them, especially if you scramble the map and you're playing as him. And then his other trait, capable minister, decreases the action point cost of increasing the city's domestic affairs. So you can build your cities up a little bit better, and you can recruit people and build up your forces a lot better. So his stats are the same. As far as skills and stuff go, we gave him +2 to inspire and +1 to dignity. So pretty straightforward. You know, I can't imagine a lot of people playing as Sheik CA, but if I was to play him, I would lean into this type of idea where it's like, okay, let's make this guy just one of those guys who's a really good recruiter and he's good at building up his cities or whatever. You know, that kind of a domestic type, you know. I don't want to say Sim City, the Sim City ruler, but kind of, you know. Okay, next one, Sun Jian. Nothing to change at Sun Jian at all. Nothing at all. Sun Jian is perfect as is. I wouldn't. There's just no reason. I mean, he's supposed to be stupidly strong. You know, the founder of Wu, you could say. Even though his son laid the groundwork, whatever. Sun Jian, you know, he put in work laying down the foundation, right? So, nothing to change with Sun Jian. He's fine as is. Okay, next character. Next ruler. Tao Qian. Tao Qian. I don't remember what his base trait was. You know what? We can check right here. If you go to original, he had veracity. Yeah. Another ruler with veracity. Okay, I already talked enough about veracity. Instead of veracity, we gave him Chivalrous Spirit and Sickly. Chivalrous Spirit increases your link damage. Sickly gives you less points. As far as we know, that's all it does. As far as we know. Now, in Romance 14, Sickly made it increase the chances that you would get injured or killed in Romance 14. So far in Romance 8 Remake, all that it says is it decreases your maximum action points. And not only does it decrease the cap, but how much you recover every month. So you can just do less because you're sick all the time, right? It was kind of tough to pick because I think you could also go Flustered with Tao Qian. Because this is a guy who's just absolutely bewildered when Cao Cao marched against him. You know, he didn't know what to do. He turned to Kong Rong, what do we do? And Kong Rong was like, let's reach out to Liu Bei. You know, Liu Bei kind of bailed him out. But, you know, it's up to you. It's up to you which one you want. I think Sickly is interesting because you have Chivalrous Spirit, so now you have a little puzzle there where it's like, okay, I want to increase my synergy so I can get some damage with this guy. But I only have so many points. I have less points to deal with, to talk to people and mingle and start to build that up. So, nothing too crazy. I mean, all it's doing is slowing it down. But, you know, maybe you'll have some decision points there in the domestic phase, which really is what this game needed. This game really needed more diverging points in the domestic phase instead of just what we got. You know, what we got is so paper thin that it's just kind of mindless, right? So, let me see. Did we give him anything else? Oh, we also increased his leadership +5 and his intelligence by 5. So his leadership, his base leadership, I guess, is 64. And his intelligence was... Really? Was it that low? It was. Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so we increased that. I mean, you can't put his leadership that high. I mean, I can't anyway. So we didn't change any of his tactics. His tactics are all the same. His abilities are all the same there. Again, that's just pretty simple thing right there. We just a little bit of a puzzle there where it's like, how do I increase? Let me try to manage increasing the synergy whenever I can, and I have to balance it out with Sickly. You could do Flustered instead. I think Flustered works just as well, but you know, it's up to you. The first of the Yuan brothers, Yuan Shao. Illustrious, kept illustrious, but instead we gave him Flustered. I think I've already talked about this. Flustered with Yuan Shao. Yuan Shao is the poster boy in this game of Flustered, okay? This is the Mr. Indecisive, the Mr. I don't know what to do. You know, this is the guy for it. So, Flustered to pair with Illustrious. And then when it comes to tactics, we took a point off of Instigate and put a point on Browse. He has a lot of pretty boss moments during the anti-Dong Zhuo coalition. You know, early on, he has some pretty great moments. The confrontation with Sun Jian is pretty cool. It's pretty like, you know, the air gets taken out of the room where Yuan Shao accuses Sun Jian of grabbing the Imperial Seal. And Sun Jian's like, no, I didn't take it. you know, and the soldiers do a movement. They start moving towards Sun Jian to search him or something like that. Sun Jian draws his sword and Yuan Shao draws his sword. And he's like, if you touch that soldier, that's an insult to me. And then he also has another line where he's like, there's him and Sun Jian are posturing in front of each other, right? In the tent, the accusation of the Imperial Seal. And Sun Jian's like, Yuan Shao says to Sun Jian, if your sword is sharp, mine is never dull. Which is just old school shit talking, right? He also has a really cool moment with Gong Zan, where he's completely surrounded, and there's arrows raining down, and his soldiers are like, quick, duck behind this wall. I think it's Tian Feng who's like, my lord, get behind this wall, get to safety. And Yuan Shao throws his helmet on the ground, and he's like, a brave commander does not fear death. He leads from the front or something. So he has a couple of boss moments. So I figured, okay, we can at least give him one rouse, take one off of Instigate, and he can do a little bit of everything. But definitely level 3 Inspired, because this is the coalition leader, right? Okay, so Yuan Shu. He has Magnetic. What else did he have with Magnetic? Magnetic and Arrogant. Two traits that, they don't really do anything, okay? They don't really do anything. We want stuff that's impactful. So Yuan Shu, Treacherous, perfect. Treacherous and Prideful? Are you serious? Slam dunk for this guy. So, Treacherous increases, gives you some resources. Gold troops, but decreases public order in the city. The strength of this effect depends on notoriety. Yuan Shu always has very high notoriety in all the games. So, you get more troops, more gold, but public order goes down because you're probably plundering from the people that you're in charge of. And then Prideful, lowers morale by 10 after defeating an enemy unit. You know, very Yuan Shu-like, okay? His stats are still the same. And then for his skills, we gave him +1 Deception, +1 Dignity. That's it. Nothing else. Everything else is the same. Now, giving him Prideful was kind of tough because it means that you're not going to hit Revelation as often as you would, because you need 100 morale to hit Revelation, right? So that, when you have Prideful, you have to be mindful of that. You're going to have some battles where if Yuan Shu's one of the main units, one of 2 units early on in your run, you're fielding smaller armies, right? So because you're fielding smaller armies, Revelation is just, it's never going to proc. It's very rare that it's going to get to 100. But it's not that strong of an effect with him. I almost feel like Revelation is kind of a joke. It probably is. I think it's a Koei joke, you know, him talking about that the bullshit reason, the bullshit manifesto that he spilled out to explain why he should be the emperor, and the novelization was like a full paragraph to read through of his reasoning. Okay, I wish I could remember all of it, but it's just 5 different sentences. Well, the sky's this way, and the element of the Han is this, and it changed to that, and the 3rd generation of this points to that, so technically I'm this, so I'm the new element that's taking over the old element, and my brother, ignore my brother, it's me, you know, like, the bullshit, the trust me bro, Yuan Shu. I think that's why they gave him Revelation. I think it's a joke, honestly. Anyway, this makes Yuan Shu very fucking cool. I like Treacherous is perfect for this guy, and Prideful is perfect for this guy too. Okay, the last officer on this list, Zhang Chao. Zhang Chao already has Unyielding. We gave him Strong Defense. This is a guy who I think, I don't know if he was put up to it, but anyway, he betrays Lu Bu. Holds out against him. Either Lu Bu or Cao Cao. I think he betrayed Lu Bu for Cao Cao. And he's under siege. He refuses to give up. He holds out until he can't possibly hold out. And then, you know, he takes himself out afterwards. So that's why they gave him Unyielding. We gave him Strong Defense to pair with that. And let's see, what else did I give him? Fortification and Resolve. So we give him +1 to Fortification, which he already had. And then we gave him +1 to Resolute, I should say. I think I've been calling it Resolve this whole time. Resolute. So Any of these guys who have things that are like against the odds, they did not budge. They held on to whatever their code was. These guys held on to their code. I always give them a point in Resolute. Just right off the bat. And again, +1 to fortification. This guy held out for as long as he fucking could. So that's Zheng Chao. So that's the list. That's everybody. Like I said, I might do Rival Warlords. Next. And then after that, who knows? Might either start leaning into the rulers, just fleshing out the factions, or picking different other starting dates, I should say. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the list. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know if there's a specific faction that you want to see or a specific start date. Like, to me, I feel like 194 is easily Warlords. But should we do anything else after that? Let me know. So, until next time, guys, take care.